everybody. Roger Marandino from GZ Tackle. I'm here in the beautiful port of Porta on Fayal in the Azores. And the boat behind us just started up the engine, so we're going to talk loud. But it's my pleasure again to talk with Captain Bonze, and we're going to talk about his lures. And I have experience with them going all the way back to Ascension Island. You know, when you made the Grimmel.
Yeah.
And I had the original one where the hook set was inside of it.
Yeah.
The black one. I don't even fish it anymore because of it.
Yeah, that lure actually started on this boat because we were fishing with Olaf, and he was the other mate. We were doing tease and switch, and that lure was just on fire. And pretty much every fish we raised that season was on that lure, so that's how that got its name.
We're gonna kind of free flow too, and I noticed like on the top of that lure, unlike a lot of other tube styles, it's rounded a little bit. It's got a bevel.
Rounded and weighted, like the bevel on it, the round bevel will take the aggressive action out of it, so good for the rough weather. And a bit of weight holds it in there. It doesn't
I
attack
feel the same. I feel the same way. It
much.
holds in the rough. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, we're gonna get to this because we're just here to talk about lures, and one of the best in the world as a captain and also as a lure maker. So we're gonna just go through a couple so that maybe you can talk about them because people are interested in like what your thought process was or like how you got there. So we can just run through a couple.
Yeah. So the one you got in your hand here is the Mongrel Dog. It's been probably our best lure of the season, just because it's been a bit rougher the last few weeks. Flat face, digs deep, really good short corner lure, and good hookup rate on that one. So the past 2 seasons, this has been very good for us.
It takes it deep.
Yeah, it takes it deep, so you can pull it really high on your short, and it'll hold in there really well. So easy for the fish to eat. So,
and we may talk about this later, but we had a great conversation with the Fudo hook on here and the stay stucks. But yeah, they're being used. So it's an interesting conversation that will probably evolve over, I don't know, the next 5 years, I don't know.
For sure, there's lots of advancements I think coming along, but yeah, it's the first time we've used these. Caught like 3 or 4 fish on them so far, had them the last couple of weeks. So yeah, they seem to be pretty good, but I like the ring setup.
Yeah, the thing that we both agree on that we love is that like once it's hooked, there's a lot of pivot point to it. So you don't always worry about it getting on the other side of the bill and pulling out. But let's get off the hooks and what else do you got? It's like a candy store.
Yeah, so I've been pulling a Hercules here. I probably caught more blue marlin on a Hercules than any other lure. Reason is because I've been fishing in rough water. This thing holds in extremely
Bonze, can
well.
you show the cupped face?
Yeah, so it's got a cup face as opposed to the flat face.
Just flush and cupped, so it's going to hold
in really well, smoke well. And I know Les on the double header, you've been fishing with, catch a lot of fish on this.
It's got a black one with the red eyes.
That's the one, yeah. So that's where we're pulling that as well. Pulling a BTK.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this exact lure here. Les caught a grander on this exact boat with this lure. So super consistent, easy to run on one of your riggers. Always holds in there. You can rig it pretty much any way you want, and it just consistently swims. So it's cut face again, longer head, so to run in your longer positions.
And this lure I can speak to because you can run it in any position. So the thing is, it's not a big lure. It doesn't run as a big lure, and also you can put it in any position. So maybe a boat that wants to look for white marlin or small blue marlin, this is a perfect bait. And we got a fish a couple years ago where the hook kind of just slid down the bill and went sideways on this. And Les and I had a kind argument about like pulling it. But he speaks so highly of this lure, so congrats.
Yeah, no, so he's definitely done well with that. And then, yeah, finally, I guess we talk about the Violator. This one here, I don't know how many big fish have been caught on around the world. It's definitely a favourite with a number of captains around the world. But I mean, for us, it's one of our go-tos.
Can you speak to the face of it, Bonze?
Yeah, so it's got a scallop face in it, but with a straight tube and a keel-weighted insert. So traditionally, this style of head would have an offset tube, which would give it quite an erratic motion. But by giving it a central tube and a belly weight, it'll give it that nice weave. And yeah, it just seems to be a really consistent big fish.
Would you say that's a deep diver?
No, not necessarily.
It stays on the surface.
Yeah, it doesn't get too deep, but it runs really nice and consistent. it doesn't skip too much. You can run it in some weather too. So yeah, this has been an absolute killer for us over the years, this one here.
So gang, my background is in biomechanics, and I want you to see, if you can see this, if you hold that up, Bonze, there's a trend with all these lures. They start tight on the top, they belly out, and then they come back down. That creates a nice suction and keeps them all in the water.
Yeah.
Which if they're skipping across the top, it's tough to catch them.
Yeah, well, the marlin like to eat them, but the hookup rate is usually pretty poor. So, especially in the conditions we've been fishing lately, it's been a bit rough. So this kind of spread is what you want to run in that rough weather.
So just for a moment here, I'm going to touch on this. So year 2 here, you know, back in the Azores, I know you started and then I came back. You know, we're on Brasilia, by the way, which is a famous boat here. It's a black watch that no one really knows where it was made, either Australia or Rhode Island.
It's Australian, this one.
Yeah.
I think Australian. Yeah.
But that company ended up in Rhode Island, so I live in Rhode Island. So, how is it?
It's been very different to last year. Certainly not as consistent as last year, but we had really good fishing at the start of the season. Some big fish around, and then it slowly tapered off. We're just starting to get another run of fish now.
Yeah.
So, a few smaller fish this year that I've never seen, but there's also been those big fish.
It's almost like Cape Verde.
Yeah, very similar. Just
Yeah.
very similar this year.
Well, anyway, man, always a pleasure. I'd shake your hand, but I don't want to stay stuck.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
thank you, everybody.